What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Yeah, I mean,
Woo.
what is going on? It's exhausting watching this team. I don't know. I think me and James are going to be pretty real this episode. Some of you are probably going to be a little frustrated with things that we say. I actually think a lot of you are going to be pretty happy about some of the things that we say. We see the comments. We see you on Twitter. We see everywhere. We're just as frustrated. Yeah, we see the game. We're just as frustrated as you guys. It feels like we've been banging our head into a wall for the last 3 months of baseball with the Mets. Great first couple months of the season. Weird part of June because it was kind of split in half where you had a good start and a horrible end. And it's just kind of continued on to what is now August 4th. And the Mets are just still kind of playing horrible baseball. So we'll talk about everything that went on this weekend against the San Francisco Giants. Cedric Mullins made his Mets debut. We got a bunch of the guys in from the trade deadline. And all that other stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to like be positive, but maybe it's because it's 12:45 at night when we're recording this. But I'm so down right now on this Mets team. That game on Sunday was a deplorably bad watch.
Horrific. I cracked up laughing when you said it was Cedric Mullins' Mets debut. I don't know why that just got me, but shout out Mark for waiting up for me. He was at a wedding on Sunday. Shout out Carlos and Teresa.
Shout out Carlos.
Wonderful celebration. Wonderful night. I think there's two ways to look at the series, and weirdly, when you look at them the two different ways, you wind up in the same place. Because when you play a baseball series against other good teams, it's like you're going to win one, they're going to win one, you're going to have one 50-50 game, right? So like that's kind of what happened. We blew their doors off on Saturday, they blew our doors off on Sunday. And then the way you look back on it, Friday was the 50-50 game. And the 50-50 moment of the 50-50 game was that you have the top of the order up, down by 1 run with a runner at second base, and you can't score a run. And that's a moment where you're like, damn, that sucks. Because you should be able to do that, especially given the hitters that we have at the top of our order. You really should be able to do that, given everything that we want, we need, where this team expects to go. But then you don't win that game. You still blow the doors off on Saturday. You think about the momentum game of baseball when it builds day after another. And you get to that game on Sunday and you score the first run. Francisco Lindor has been cold. It's a home run the first inning. And you get your fucking shit lit on fire. Between Rafael Devers and like kind of a bullshit inning, but still Frankie Montas letting everybody on base. It's just, there were many ways for the Mets to be able to salvage a series like this. And again, both ways they could not do, one at the beginning, one at the end. And you can see in both reasons why they couldn't salvage the series, why this team does have some dramatic flaws at the moment.
They're just not doing things that good teams do. Like good teams win these games that the Mets have been losing. They've been losing them. And I feel like at the beginning of the year, they were getting these games. They were playing clean baseball.
That was the opposite of May.
Correct. Like May, it was like we were getting all of them. But the Mets were playing good defense. They were getting good pitching. We were getting timely hitting. We were hitting. We were hitting the ball significantly better than we are right now. But when you have a lineup that Brandon Nimmo and Juan Soto have been cold for the last week or so, last 10 games, they've been cold. On top of that, Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso have basically done nothing. I know Lindor's got some hits in the blowout game, and then Pete hit a home run as well. But like those guys still are not even relatively close to the caliber of player that they should be and that the Mets need them to be. And then you throw that on top of the fact that this Mets lineup just as a whole isn't very, very deep when you have guys like Mark Vientos still getting at bats and you still have just kind of not a full gelled lineup right now. And that's kind of the whole thing with this Mets team. There's just no gel going on right now. There's no vibes.
I was going to tell you, I think that's untrue. I think that what's gone on with the Mets team, ironically, over the last few weeks, that we actually have gotten monster production from the bottom of the lineup.
Well,
I think considering what the bottom of the lineup is for most baseball teams, like Jeff McNeil has begun to hit again. Mark Vientos has gotten to hit 11 of 12 games that he started.
What's his average over those 11 games?
But I'm just saying, like he's at least got one hit a game. One hit a game at the bottom of the order is a big deal. Like Cedric Mullins had a big game on Saturday, took some decent at-bats on Sunday. And Francisco Alvarez, since he's come back from the minor leagues, has taken consistently great at-bats. Francisco Alvarez
looks good.
As bad as he was early in the season, he has no OPS right now that's 60, 70 points higher than Mark Vientos. Just to think about where those two, but I'm saying, like, and Saturday, Brett Baty had a great game. He scored 3 or 4 runs. Like, I actually think right now, it's the opposite of all the things that we thought were the problems forever. Like, it is the top of the order that is.
I mean, you're right. Yeah.
Holding us down. Like, I think that the cohesion could be there if anybody at the top of the order was hitting right now. That is the problem. But again, like, similarly, how, like, there's a lack of flow, lack of movement right now, lack of fluidity. Friday, you get the great pitching from Dave Peterson, you can't hit. Sunday, again, the bottom of the order hits, the top of the order doesn't show up, and Frankie Montas gets blown the fuck up. So, like, that, it's just the fact that, like, there's no position groups who are working the same way at the same time. That's the problem, which is the opposite of what you want to be as a successful baseball team.
Yeah, there's no gelling going on. They can't get going at the same time. They can't get good pitching and good hitting, or good hitting and good pitching. Like, they just don't. Nothing is ever seemingly in sync for this team right now. And I think I texted you on Friday talking about the Mets game because they weren't hitting, and it really was a late rally. That was like nice, cool, like great late rally to then still lose the game. Whoop-de-doo. We can hang the banners, I guess, about that one. But like, I think I'm just like done trying to find answers. I think this just might be the 2025 Mets, where they're going to have games where they look awesome. They're going to have games where they look horrible. And at the end of the day, they probably just make the playoffs. And I don't really know how much noise they make right now in the postseason. It's just the way that this team plays over a span of time feels unsustainable for a playoff run right now.
I had a disgusting moment on Friday night after I watched the Mets, watched them lose, worked my NBC shift, had some dinner, was just kind of unwinding, like editing YouTube video, watching some reruns of Breaking Bad. And I kind of like sat back in my chair. I was like, why am I not more mad about the game I just watched? Because like everything in my head were like, watching the way they lost, watching the way David Peterson pitched, not getting hit for almost 5 full innings as Robbie Ray, having to come back, tying the game, and then like drifting into defeat. I was like, I should be pissed about this. I was like, young James right now would be like throwing a fit about the Mets game he just watched. But I was like, why don't I feel that? And I'm just like, I kind of got to the conclusion I didn't really expect them to win.
No.
Even as they came back, I was like, it still doesn't feel like a win right now. It's like a shitty thing to say, and it's a hard thing to describe, but even when that game was tied and they fall down by 1, I'm like, it's just, I don't know. And it's like, it is shitty to blame a guy like, I'm not blaming anybody, but like, if Brandon Nimmo just hits a ground ball instead of a pop-up, or when Juan Soto hits a pop-up, he's like a half of an inch on that bat away from hitting a double down line or home run over the wall. It's like shitty to say like that's a reason that like, oh, this team is in the shitter. But you just felt that whole game, the momentum, the way the team is moving. It's just that felt like a loss. And you blow them out Saturday, and Sunday, just no chance to win. It's just, I don't know. And also, this is us magnifying a 3-game series way too intently. That's what we do, and that's the whole point of this. But
then they did also get the doors blown off them in San Diego as well. That's the difference.
Sure.
Is that it's
like, it did feel like there was a break with the trade deadline, though.
Like, yes and no. I don't know. This team, they've done it all year. So again, it's been in front of our face this entire time. But they win 7 in a row. They lose 6 of 7. Like, that's just kind of how it seems to be going this year. And I think because of the cushion that we gave ourselves at the start of the year with playing just more good games than bad, we're above 500, but really the majority of the year, this has actually been like a 500 baseball team. I
mean, more or less, kind of. Not since the majority, but since it happened in
June?
Like, yeah, June 10th.
That
June
Friday night against the Tampa Bay Rays where Paul Blackburn came in the game, that's kind of like the turning point of like, maybe we weren't as good as we thought we were.
I mean, Paul Blackburn is likely coming back to this team very soon. Wonderful. But I don't know. Like, there's a philosophical conversation there where it's like, is it not as good as we thought they were, or is it just like not as good as they ever were? Like, they were better then than they probably ever were. Like, we were getting every single 5 days, Griffin Canning, David Peterson, like incredible starts, and the second that ended, whether or not that could have ended based on bad luck or just bad skill, like it did end, and there has not been a return. And a guy like Kodai Senga, I think, is kind of emblematic of the whole thing. It's like, you hope for a guy like that who is now healthy, who's made a few starts off the IL, to be a guy who can be relied upon in these situations. And in a game like Saturday, where you can build momentum, like we were building momentum. We had a huge lead early in that game, and he gave it back, and the offense kind of grabbed it back for him. But he seems so not right, and him being not right feels like something that dramatically impacts the ceiling of this team.
Yeah, I mean, they just cannot afford to have Kodai Senga along with Frankie Montas, along with Clay Holmes, 3 guys a week, and then Sean Manaea as well right now, who cannot go past the 5th inning. It's unsustainable. It's not possible for this Mets team, for this Mets bullpen, to be able to continue that way. And I also hate pointing the finger to the pitching still, because at the end of the day, the number one problem with this team is they are not hitting. They're not scoring any runs. There is absolutely no consistency with the offense. The pitching gets magnified because we can't hit. But really, at the end of the day, the hitting is the problem with this team.
Yes. I think that a lot of people were jumping down the decision of Carlos Mendoza in the game on Friday to bring in Ryne Stanek in the 7th inning, where like that to me was innocuous.
Fine.
Where David Peterson was like right around 100 pitches. Dave Peterson's already kind of shockingly the career high of innings pitched. Like, he is the horse of the staff. We know that. And he had a couple tough innings to begin that game. But then you cruise through the middle innings, as David Peterson often does. And then you kind of have to just bring someone in. You're down by a few runs. Like, everyone in this bullpen should be trusted at this point in the season. And it feels different after watching on Sunday. But, like, at that point, you're like, just bring in Ryne Stanek. Sure, get through an inning. And you give up one run. The one run, that situation should not be magnified. It's the fact that you've been shut out through 6 innings. That should be the part that's magnified. And Robbie Ray's a great pitcher. Give Robbie Ray credit. Why wouldn't we? Yeah. It's just, there has to be something else happening there.
I'm like become so exhausted with that. I'm done even blaming Chavez. We know my stance.
That's a big step for you.
We know my stance is never going to change. I still think he sucks. But like at the end of the day, I don't know. At some point, if he sucks so bad as much as we all think, right? One, I would think David Stearns would have fired him already, and the fact that he is still there tells me they like something. They have to like something. And then two, Francisco Lindor's been a good hitter before. He just needs to step up. Pete Alonso was a good hitter at the beginning of the year, was doing things that he's not doing now. He needs to step up. Like, the Mets just kind of need to put their big boy pants on and play some baseball, it feels like. Right now, they're just kind of fucking moping around.
Kratz, there are a lot of people out there that pay rent and they don't get anything for it.
Might as well change that. You can get some rewards for flights, hotels, tons of stuff.
With Built, you can earn flexible points that can be redeemed towards airlines, hotels, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and much more. It doesn't stop there. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and enjoy experiences just for Built members every month. They're turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you. Earn points on rent and around your neighborhood, wherever you call home, by going to joinbuilt.com/foul. That's joinbilt.com/FOUL. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. joinbuilt.com/foul. Go for it.
But that's what it comes down to. It's like you have to start playing some baseball.
Yeah.
But that's what they're not doing right now. It's like, and also it's like maybe that's us being a little like machismo with this, where it's like, why aren't we doing better? Why aren't we doing better? But how much longer do you have to do better? It's like, you say we have had a bad season to this point, like things have not gone our way. Now it's August.
Yeah.
Things can't not go your way until August. Like, rubber has to meet the road. If you want to do something, it's August. Like, start playing. It's almost like a lot of people are sitting back and having solace in the fact that we're still a half game behind the Phillies. We're still in first place.
Don't love that.
But it's the fact that it's lucky to have been to this spot. Not lucky, but you're fortunate that you played well enough this season to have got yourself to this point. Now it's about taking advantage of opportunities, and that's where the lack is coming in.
You think other fan bases feel like this too? You think
Yes,
Phillies fans feel? You think everyone
I think
is?
27 teams in baseball feel like this.
Because it's like there is nobody right now who's jumping out as like the team.
No, the Brewers kind of are.
But and weirdly enough, we handled them pretty easily when we played them during their like massive hot streak. So like
we're gonna see them again next week, so we'll see if that happens again.
We'll find out. But there is no team in baseball I feel like that instills any sort of fear in anybody right now, which is funny because as we're coming up on the lockout in a couple years, the biggest conversation is about all salary cap and how it's not fair. When I think there's like the most parity there's probably ever been in baseball right now.
I agree with that, especially when you go look at the fact that there hasn't been a repeat champion since 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it seems obvious that there is good parity and good, competitive balance in this league. But again, a lot of fan bases like to bitch and cry about that. And again, it's funny too, because a lot of Mets fans do want to jump down the throats of the guys who make the most money in this team. Like, the very obvious targets, which is Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, to a slightly lesser degree, Brandon won't be Alonso. The second they gave him that bullshit Fab Four nickname, they just stopped hitting instantly. Luckily for us, we never used that name. But
the Fab Four was Fab Five was Michigan guys, right?
Yeah.
Historically didn't win anything, right? I don't think
they didn't win anything.
And Chris Webber called a timeout and got a technical foul. So like that's not really a group I'd want to give a similar guys on my team the moniker of. Historically speaking,
The University of Michigan only really won things like before the Mets existed as a franchise, just to give you a time frame of when that university was most successful. But that's a problem. And the problem is, again, Juan Soto was hot for a month. Brandon Mo has been hot for like 3 months. Those guys have now been called. Juan Soto for like 3-4 weeks now. Brandon Mo for like 2-ish weeks. There's supposed to be a give and take on a baseball team. Like, things are supposed to kind of work in unison. And the fact that those guys have gotten called and Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso have not gotten hot back, you can't really pay it back with that.
No, it's pretty impossible to score when the guys who are supposed to be driving in all the runs are having trouble just putting the ball even in play at times, having good quality contact. I mean, the amount of infield pop-ups, just missed it. Like the quality of contact is so bizarre because, again, we still see the hard hit balls, but then like it feels like every time there's a big moment, it's the wrong hit every single time.
I was thinking about that Soto pop-up in the 10th inning for like 6 hours.
That one, like Nimmo, and then
that was like this on the bat.
And then I need people to please miss me with the sacrifice bunt with Nimmo there. You cannot sacrifice bunt down in the 10th inning for a team that can't score runs.
I think that's like 3 or 4 reply guys on Twitter because
I don't know, man.
I
see it more and more. People are like, we need to bunt. This team can't score. I'm like, you know what doesn't help scoring? Giving away outs. No one's ever been like, team can't score. Let's make sure we have less outs than we already have in the game.
I don't know. I mean, just you're down by 1 run. You have top of your order. You want to score 2 to win. Like I don't want to roll the extra inning dice again. I think that was just a couple of reply guys who are looming large at the moment, but I don't think that was like a relevant thing whatsoever. Truthfully,
I mean, I don't think baseball people were talking about it. No,
it's just the problem. It's the meme that goes up on Twitter all the time where it's like pitching, hitting, like relief pitching. It's like you can never get all 3 switches going in the same spot one time. Like there was a while, and also I think something that honestly weirdly works against more not the Mets but us as the fans is that the way that last year was just like, oh, perfect. You know what I mean? Like it was fucking nirvana watching his team for 3 straight months. So then now with the fact that things are difficult, it's it's easy to forget how hard baseball is when you watch perfect baseball for months on end.
Oh, this has been an absolute slog of a season, and especially the summer. It has been a long summer watching the Mets. Like they just, like you said, we had nirvana last year. It was easy to watch them in the second half because they just won all the time. And you didn't really know how, but you turned on the game. You're like, the Mets are going to find a way to win. You turn on a game right now, watching the Mets, you're like, how are they going to lose this one? That's kind of what it feels like right now.
Does it feel like that? Do you feel like they're going to lose every game? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't feel like they're going to lose every game, but like every time that I see like the first inning squandered when like they get a guy on, or I see like the first failure of like runners in scoring position, I can't help but be like, here we go again. It's the GTA meme. Ah, shit, here we go again. Like there's just, and again, I don't know what they can change. This is just me speaking from like fan perspective. It's just like how we keep doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know what the change is. I'm not there. That's not my job to figure out what the change is. I'm a fan. But the people whose job it is, including the players on the field, like we have to make an adjustment at some point because the current plan of everything that's been going on for the last 2 months, it is broken. It's not working. There has to be a change in how these guys approach their hitting, not from Eric Chavez's standpoint, but like maybe we're a little too patient. Maybe we're too aggressive. Maybe we're not seeing enough fastballs. Like there's something that's missing. I'm not going to find out the answer because I'm never going to. That's not my job. I'm not getting paid for it. But Francisco Lindor can't go 2 months of being a bad hitter and just be like, well, I'll figure it out.
I think this is Groundhog's Day because it's not, the approach seems okay. They just seem to be not be playing well. They just seem to be sucking rather than like picking the wrong pitches to swing at.
You can't, there's something fundamentally broken about this team. 100%. I don't know if it is the approach. I don't know if it's they have bad wood bats. I don't know if these guys aren't sleeping enough. Maybe they need the Dom Smith sleep apnea machine. He had a fucking series. Of course he did. He stunk the last time he was here and now plays for the Giants, has a big series. But like, there is something fundamentally broken right now with this Mets team. It needs to be fixed sooner than later. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not pointing fingers of what the actual problem is.
Yeah, this is the same shit because like I don't think it's fundamentally broken. I think you're just playing bad.
You cannot play this bad when you have this many good players.
Like bad.
Then they're losers. That's but and then me and you were yelling about the same conversation we did like a month ago where I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't want to do that again.
This team's either bad or they're losers. And then fix something, make a change, do something. Bring up a young guy even. I don't know. There's got to be something here. A spark plug. They're sleepy.
It was crazy on Friday night that Bob Melvin seemed to, not intentionally, but like bring Jose Butto into a series, like into a game where you're facing your former team. You're going to be on the opposing mound for the first time in the ballpark you've called your home as a major leaguer, and now you're on the other side. It kind of felt like a, not that this relates to anything we're talking about with the Mets, but like a throw into the fire kind of thing. This Mets team just seems to need like a shake.
Yes.
Like there needs to be something that happens. Mets need a fucking brawl.
Mets need a guy. Mets need a guy to get drilled and get
just
pissed
like
about
they
it.
need like a moment. They need like a thing. They need something to make them stop thinking and start playing. Like stop thinking and start feeling, because like that's what it is. Like same with Pete. Like Pete, the play that happened on Sunday that really pissed me off was when he got the ground ball at first base with first and third, 1 out, no outs. Not exactly remembering the situation, but you guys remember it was right after Rafael Devers hit the home run the following inning with Frankie on the mound still, and Pete grabs the ground ball, and at that moment, all right, so I have the spot right here. There was 1 out, and it was first and third. As a first baseman, you get a ground ball, you're playing corners in. You can either, at that moment, wheel and deal, try and turn a double play, or you can immediately come home. And Pete had the moment, the split second of hesitation, and that blew both things. And the fact that happened, that let the game go from wind up being 4-1 to 7-1. Again, not cutting Frankie Montas any slack, but that was a moment that dramatically changed the way that game felt in the early to mid innings still. That's a player that's thinking too much. That's a player that before you get the ball, you don't know where you're going with it. Because Pete got the ball and there was a moment, and then he went home and he missed a runner by a half an inch, and then Patrick Bailey was running. If you wheel and deal to second base, because maybe that's also hesitation because the play that happened against the Padres or Wasco Braswell, you know what I mean? Like all of these teeny tiny things, like not eat into you, but like they pile up as a baseball team. You understand these things. You understand the way your team works. You understand the way you move. You make a play. You think about that play when you make the next play. Like that is just human nature. Is how the game goes. Then everything spins out. It's like the
Mets spin out a lot.
We spun out a lot, especially in the last week, where it's like all of a sudden, like a game that like if you can keep that game close, even if you can keep that game 5-1, and again, this is where it's not a Pete anymore, where then it goes back to being on Montas. Then it's like all situations with Vientos, where Ilio Ramos hits a ground ball in the hole, and it looks like Mark Vientos has a step to go to get the ball, then he kind of backs off it. Not that was the wrong play. I don't know if he actually could have gotten to it, but then he gets Francisco Lindor deep in the hole. Ilio Ramos beats it out by a millisecond. Then another run scores. Another run scores for that fix. Rafa Desert hits the back-breaking single. Those little tiny things are adding up on each other. And then when you're a good team, you keep that game close. You make it tight at the end. You see if you can get close. When you're kind of drifting past that, that's when another team can blow you out, and the game's not competitive anymore.
Yeah, no, they're not sharp. They're not clean. They're not capitalizing on any team's mistakes right now. It's poor baseball. And again, like you said, we're probably magnifying a 3-game series way too much.
Well, this is a podcast. We have to be.
Of course. It's why you guys listen to us. We've been doing this for like 4 years of magnifying every single game that this team ever plays. But like at the same time, the sharpness and the lack of consistent play, again, it's been a problem since the middle of June. So they got to clean it up. They're too talented to be playing as poorly as they have. And
they are. But how many more weeks can we say that?
Well, that's the next conversation here. Is how long until they are who we thought they were? Like
I fucking hate that I said this months ago. It feels like the way the Phillies felt last year.
Yes.
Where you bust out and you're incredible and you can't be stopped. And all of a sudden, you don't even realize it, but you played 3 months of 500 baseball. And oh my God, what do you know? You're just a 500 team. And then the second you have to get to when the shit gets tough and there's series that there's little micro plays that mean everything, that's when you get beat by the team that's feeling themselves and is happy and is not motivated, but that's emotionally involved in a way that like you can channel.
You think this team misses Jesse Winker just like for the vibes?
I guess, but like, because he's still there. He's not dead.
I know, but I don't.
He's there.
There's such a lack of vibes right now with this team, and that was like what propelled them last year.
Kind of, but like there should be some vibe. Like the fact that like there's a lack of vibes. Francisco Alvarez coming back from the minor leagues 2 weeks ago should be an administrate. Like that should be administering vibes, and I think he did administer vibes. I think their team felt those vibes, but we just get into these 50-50 opportunities. I know Sunday was bad, and you guys probably won't hear us talk about Sunday, but I can't stop thinking about the 10th inning on Friday. The 10th inning on Friday, we lauded tons of praise for Randy Rodriguez, because I did. Yeah. That was when I did the individual podcast last week, where he's one of the best relievers in baseball. He's a newly minted closer in this Giants team. You got to get one run home. You have to. If you're a really good team, if you want to get to the places you want to get to. And people still talk shit about David Stearns not addressing a rotation. Well, again, like it's like, what have you done for me lately? But David Stearns put his foot down. He got the relievers that you needed. This bullpen is now fucking awesome. And it's a funny thing where it's like, how good is the bullpen? Like, high leverage bullpen doesn't really matter when you're down by 4 runs in the 6th inning. So, but he put his foot down. It was like, this is a team that we think is ready to win. You acquire guys like Ryan Helsley and Tyler Rogers for prospects and you're ready to win, rental relievers. The other guys, they have to hold up their end of the bargain soon. The dog days of summer means it's time for the boys of summer to kick it into gear. And the best way to cash in on your baseball IQ is with DraftKings Sportsbook. Never bet on baseball before? It's simple. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
I just want to like fast forward a week and be like, do I feel better?
Maybe.
Because I don't right now. I definitely don't. It's an exhausting team to watch play right now because it's not very good. But hey, I don't know. Things will get better, I guess. Is that what we're going to say?
I'm not going to say things will get better, but it's talking about the fact that there's things that have to get better that's kind of hard to put your finger on.
Yeah. Besides just like score more runs.
Well, yeah,
hit
baseball,
ball hard.
Score more runs. Yeah, hit ball hard. A lot of people definitely want to hear us talk about Juan Soto's wrist, but I don't know. Juan Soto, there's so many other reasons why this team is struggling besides Juan Soto.
Yes.
And it's like, I think a lot of people want to scapegoat the guy who makes the most money, but he's doing fine.
I know
for a few weeks.
The money conversation with Soto, like I get why people get on him. He's a $700 million player. Sure. Like he's getting paid all this money. He should never fail, right? That's the take. It's because he's making all that money. But I don't know about you. Actually, I think I do know. It so doesn't matter to me at all how much he's getting paid whatsoever. It's never going to matter to me for a second. It never affects my pocket. It never affects my family's. Doesn't have any outcome on what I do in my day-to-day life besides watch Juan Soto play baseball for the team that I like.
You know, it's ironic. It probably doesn't even affect the guy that pays him.
Steve Cohen?
You know what I mean? Like that, the money that Steve Cohen pays Juan Soto is insignificant compared to what Steve Cohen has. So it's like there's no one should be caring about the dollars and cents. And the people that are, I think, just want to find reasons to be like, why is this team bad? It's a scapegoat conversation. That's fair. Like if that's the way that you can feel better, like
hate to break it to you guys. Like Juan Soto's contract was always going to look horrible. It's an unprecedented amount of money. But who cares?
This is a bad conversation anyway because it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But that's
And you know what's going to happen next week? He's going to hit like 4 home runs, and we're going to be like, "Oh my god, this is great. We love Juan Soto."
Well, we love Juan Soto. We've never stopped liking Juan Soto.
I'm saying, like, when Juan Soto ends the season with 900 OPS, I'm going to be like, "Yes, good deal.
Incredible.
Can't wait to watch him hit the next year." But it's just about this time in the middle when this is the part of the fact of you're supposed to have a D team. You're supposed to have a very successful top of the order. When someone is cold, you should not know this because other guys are hot.
Yes.
And the fact that Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso have been cold for 7 consecutive weeks combined. I mean, think about the one game those guys both went off.
Yeah, they scored 11 runs.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's if you could have told a Mets fan in March your team will go as far as Lindor and Alonso take you, you'll be like, yes,
sign me
to
up.
win the World Series. Yeah, but that's kind of the nexus, the crux where we are right now. Where if those guys aren't, which they haven't, it's hard to go forward.
Now that being said, Lindor did swing the bat a little bit better on Sunday too with that home run. Got another hit, I think, as well.
It was. It's still. And again, I get it. That is the thing. Why I guess I'm not doom and gloom, despite the way we're sounding and talking right now.
Oh yeah, I'm not doom and gloom. I'm just tired.
I know those guys will hit, so it's like once they hit, who cares? No big deal. Especially again, where right now, Barfientos has looked better in the last 2 weeks. He's looked all season. Still not great, but better. Francisco Alvarez looks good, like actually good. Ryan Rizzo looks good.
Chavez was so happy today. He had 2 opposite field hits today. Whew.
I'm just saying, like, with the way the bottom of the order looks right now, if you would have told me this in June 23rd, I'd be like, all right, if the bottom of the order looks like this, we're back. We're good. No big deal. But the fact that we've gone the 7-8 weeks of the same bullshit, it's like someone do something together at the same time.
Oh, so Cedric Mullins looks pretty good.
Looks fine. Looks like he's a spark plug. He's a good ball player. You see a lot of things Cedric Mullins does, and it's good. And then, like, I want to talk about Frankie Montas briefly, quickly, because I know people are freaking the fuck out about him. There's something that's happened with Frankie where he seems to max out his velocity early and not be able to get it back. That's a really relevant thing into why he's struggling. At the same time, it's like he's leaving a lot of fastballs in the zone, which is that's Frankie fastballs. That's what he does. Looks a lot more like Frankie meatballs these days. He threw a really bad pitch to Rafael Devers, and then he probably should have been out of that 4th inning, truthfully.
And then I thought it was weird that he then came back out for the 5th, but then only faced one batter. It was like, well, the game's over.
Give the hit. It's like, just keep pitching. You get one hit. Who cares at that point?
Let him get to 100 pitches. Like, who cares? That game is over. That was a weird decision as well.
I mean, that kind of does come back to the Mendoza stuff that we've talked about a lot this season, where the feel isn't at the same spot that it was last year. And it seems apparent that he doesn't have the finger on the pulse in the same degree he did. And again, maybe it just seems like that because the team's winning games less consistently.
Yeah.
But it does feel like there are so many of these little teams. And again, there weren't many others this year. So we're kind of harping on one small thing that happened. But there just seems to be a little bit more of an uncertainty with the calls that are being made at the times they're being made.
Everything feels uncertain with this team right now.
It just doesn't feel that secure. It doesn't feel that good. Like, it's a shitty word, but it just doesn't feel good right now to watch the team play day in, day out.
No.
And it's like they should feel better because they're good. They're good baseball players. We know they're good. Like, we see the back of these guys' baseball cards and we're like, these guys are good. We're lacking some good on this team that should be better. Hey, you know what? Also, all the bullshit we're saying, shout out Austin Warren.
Shout out Austin Warren. He's been great all year.
Austin Warren ripping 4 scoreless innings that game on Sunday after Montas, having a 0.96 ERA in the season, and then giving way to Ryne Stanek to get absolutely lit on fire in that 9th inning. It was Austin Warren did good. Sinker sweeper did good.
Also pouring out for Rico Garcia. DFA'd again.
I mean, hopefully we get him back, but I don't think there's any way he passes through.
He seems quite good, honestly.
He seems to be actually a good pitcher, but this is kind of what we talked to you guys about last episode, where this Mets team is tight right now. And I guess that's the last place we'll take with like the series conversation where people keep clamoring Sproat McLean, Sproat McLean, Sproat McLean. I don't know whose roster spot they get. I don't. That's what we talked to you guys about last time. I think Frankie Montas is probably due for a Phantom IL.
Yeah, he's not going to get DFA'd.
I wouldn't be shocked if by the time you guys are hearing us talk to Frankie Montas on the IL with a shoulder strain,
impingement.
Impingement. Yeah, hear about an impingement somewhere. And if that happens,
contusion.
You guys will see Paul Blackburn back. It seems like this team doesn't really want to bring those guys into the fire at this moment.
Until they physically have to.
I understand that people want to see them, but the way this roster is aligned right now, there's no optionable pitchers.
And again, I want this to be known. This is not us saying we don't want these guys. I would very much like to see them at the major league level. We're just telling you the realistic fact that there's not really space right now how this roster's working.
And while we all want to see them, the people who know the most about them are the people making these decisions. So there might be things that we can't see or we don't know about why they don't think these guys are actually ready to face a full lineup of major league hitters.
When do you think we do see one of these guys?
Probably soon. I think
you think there's a September call-up when we get the extra 2 guys?
I think we see one of them in August. It just seems like a way where it's like, let's say Frankie, let's play the bullshit scenario out in our heads. Frankie Montas goes in the Phantom IL, Paul Blackburn comes up. Say Paul Blackburn pitches one good game, one bad game, one okay game, one terrible game. Now we're on August 26th. Frankie Montas is not healthy yet. You probably give one of these guys a chance, right?
I would hope so. I'd really hope so.
Brandon Sproat just lit the world on fire in August. He looked incredible, but at the same time, I told you guys last episode, he didn't throw any curveballs in his last start. So there still probably are some hurdles into the difference between the minor league pitching and the major league pitching. And every time we talk to Matt Eddy, and every time we talk about prospects, we talk about this where the cavern between AAA and the major leagues is wider than it's ever been in the past. So just having a 0.96 ERA and 5 AAA starts doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day.
No.
So it's hard for us to be like, that's the reason he should be up, because we know it's not. And they know more than we know about the per pitch, the per at bat, the lefty righty, all that stuff. So I don't know. I can't scold them for not doing it, but I would like to see it as a fan.
Yeah, the only thing that I can say is I do think that those guys give us a better chance to win than Paul Blackburn. David Stearns or whoever's making these decisions or who are having this conversation, you can't look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, Paul Blackburn, that's my guy.
That's your guy.
Yeah, Paul Blackburn.
That's what it feels like. I wish Dominic Greco's on this right now. That's how I feel. I don't want to act like that, but that is how I feel. You know? That's where it is. But that was a series recap, right? For the ages. 2 straight series recaps where we just didn't talk about anything specific, just feelings.
I mean, the series were terrible. They were so bad. Even the game, like you said, on Saturday, Kodai giving it back up. It was like, oh my God, the Giants pitcher was horrible. Tang, he was horrendous. He is not a Major League Baseball player.
Kai Wei Tang. I mean, he might be one day, but as of right
Not
now,
right
as a
now.
26-year-old rookie, he didn't seem like it. His unit, though, 6'4", 250.
Big dude, big boy.
Yeah. It was just, it didn't feel like, again, the blowout was great. Watching the offense score runs, watching the hits and run scoring position. I'm worried about Kodai Senga's consistency. I know that for this team to get where they want to get to, like Kodai Senga has to be a guy. Kodai Senga has to be able to give you 6 innings. The fact that Howie talks about it every game, that David Peterson, he's the only Met to give us 6 innings for like 8 weeks now. He can. I love how much he brings it up because he's right. But it's like he made a comment where about like the average start in Major League Baseball this year is under 5 2/3 innings, where he's like, I don't care. I don't give a shit about the average. He's like, we need to throw more innings than that. Like, if we want to be good. Like, we watched these guys go 4 innings, 4 2/3. You know what I mean? It's like, let's pitch. It's not, again, partially it's about these guys who they are at the end of the day. And like, I think a lot of people are also criticizing David Stearns for not going and getting a starter this deadline. No one got a starter.
It was Merrill
There
Kelly.
was one good starter moved in all of baseball. His name was Merrill Kelly. That was it.
And he was traded for like probably like Wenninger-ish type prospect. And like we kind of like Wenninger and think that he could have more value towards like in a little bit longer. Like you wait till next year, maybe he could even be a prospect that is pretty valuable in the system. Like the Rangers gave up, I think, 2.
It was Cole Drake and
no, they gave up 3 pitchers, David Hageman and
it was
Mitch Bratt.
It was like 2 top 150 guys and then another guy who was like interesting.
It's kind of a lot for Merrill Kelly.
It was, but also like I've heard Cubs fans talking about this. We've heard Tigers fans talking about this. No one got a starting pitcher this trade deadline. It didn't even happen. Like
Merrill Kelly's the only guy.
Literally, I mean, Michael Soroka, who's kind of half a starting pitcher, Charlie Morton. Like that, these were the starting pitchers that moved. The Yankees didn't get a starting pitcher. They got the relievers. You know what I mean? Like every single team who needed pitching just slam bullpen, slam bullpen, slam bullpen. So it's not always about exactly what your guy failed to do. It's more about what the market dictated. Like that's kind of how this all works. I don't know. I mean, the Red Sox got Dustin May for James Tibbs, the guy they just got for Rafael Devers. Dustin May is a bad pitcher with 2 more months of team control. That was such a desperation play by general manager who looked like he was. But then the Red Sox show up and sweep the Astros. You know what I mean?
Of course,
yeah. Like, but that's again, like that's baseball. It's the best part about it. It's funny to look at all this stuff in context. We're going to learn a lot more next few weeks. We're going to learn a lot more as we transition here to the next series the Mets are going to play against the Cleveland Guardians. A team that sold the deadline as a 500 baseball team in the American League where 85 wins will get you in.
Well, they sold one player, right? They got rid of Shane Bieber. I think that was the only guy that they traded, and they brought in one prospect because one of the guys that they were looking to trade, gambling, gotcha.
Yeah, Emmanuel Clase. We're not going to see Emmanuel Clase in the series against Cleveland Guardians.
Or Luis Ortiz.
Or Luis Ortiz. We'll definitely not see either of them. But so Monday night, 7:10. Mark and I might be there. We'll find out. Sean Manaea versus Slade Ciccone. Paisan.
Slade's been pretty good, right?
Slade's been good. Slade's becoming like the Chad innings either. In like a really funny way. But then Tuesday night, Clay Holmes for 77 pitches versus Logan Allen, who's also weirdly been good.
Probably also going to throw 77 pitches as well.
On Wednesday, ace-off matinee, David Peterson versus Gavin Williams. These will be 2 stars of the All-Star game in like 2027.
That's a tall matchup as well. A lot of length.
Tall matchup. It's one of the tallest matchups we're going to see. As David Peterson 6'7", versus Gavin Williams like 6'6". Yeah,
good extension.
It's funny to think about this Guardians team because it's hard to remember now. But the last time we played them, we got swept embarrassingly in Cleveland at a time when last year, the Mets 2024 season, seemed to be absolutely at their wits' end. And they're not a bad team by any means. Like they're an objectively fine baseball team. They're a good, solid 500 ball club. You look at the Guardians, you're like,
in the American League,
it's a ball club. It's a ball club.
They play baseball. They do play baseball. I mean, Jose Ramirez, everyone knows how good he is, but perennial first ballot Hall of Famer. He's so awesome. He's so ridiculously good.
Everyone should make sure over the next few years, even just few months, like make sure you take a few moments out of your week to respect Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
Because we've watched one of the better baseball players that many of us will ever see in our lives in terms of baseball on the field, the way he conducts himself off the field, his right hook on the field, like everything that Jose Ramirez has done as a baseball player is like, he's just the kind of guy that you want to watch. Like Jose Ramirez is a guy where like, if I'm scrolling through my MLB TV, like I'll pop into a Guardians game so I can watch Jose Ramirez.
We're going to watch Jose Ramirez like casually in his career hit like 400 homers, have like 400 stolen bases, and play Gold Glove caliber defense at third base. Like,
Can I give you a take right now?
Yeah, give it to me.
right now we're watching two of like the 4 or 5 best third basemen in the history of baseball.
Yeah, Machado and him. Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
we saw Arenado, who was
yeah.
also one of the 10 best, probably.
Arenado stopped right before he could have been great. One of my worst takes of all time, thinking that he had another great year in him because he looks fucking decrepit.
Accountability, hand up. Look at that.
100%. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. That's why we're here. But I love Jose Ramirez. Like
Me too.
I went going to college in Ohio. I have a lot of friends who are Guardians, Cleveland fans, and it's like the admiration they feel for this guy, the way they defend him in the national baseball landscape was like, you're not talking. I get texts from friends. You're not talking about Jose Ramirez enough. When I do my big Twitter threads, they're like, you didn't mention Jose Ramirez's 896 OPS. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I didn't respect enough because I'm just so used to him being casually and consistently incredible that it's hard to recognize that he's one of the best third basemen that's ever stepped on a baseball field in the history of the world.
Yeah, he's so good. And then offensively, there's not really much else to talk about.
I think there's a couple other pretty interesting
Manzardo?
guys. I think that Kyle Manzardo is a prospect who is a late bloomer because the Guardians demand you to be a late bloomer because they want to make sure they siphon off as much of your prime as possible because they don't pay people. Also, fun fact for the Guardians, a lot of you guys are probably Knicks fans, Rangers fans listening to this. They're owned by Paul Dolan, James's cousin. So you're like, wow, why don't the Guardians spend any money? That's how James Dolan would act if he didn't like have the only sports arena in Manhattan.
It's the Dolan effect. They're cheap. Yeah, Manzardo hits the ball hard. He's got good pop. Steven Kwan is going to be pesky. He's going to get a bunch of singles, get on base, play good defense out in left field. He's a good ball player. That's kind of it offensively, though.
So CJ Kayfus was just called up this past weekend.
Okay, yeah.
CJ Kayfus is, again, similar to Manzardo. Not the same acclaim, not the same level of draft pick, not the same level of prospect. An older guy who's coming up without much of a defensive home, a DH. They're trying to make Kayfus play the corner outfield because the Guardians haven't really had a corner outfield in like our adult lives.
No.
Right? They've never really gone out and like actually paid like the $11 million it
Seems like Manny.
A competent corner outfielder. Yeah, about 90, 98, 99 since the Guardians had the former Indians had real corner outfield. Kayfus is a guy that generally makes good swing decisions, generally lifts the ball, and generally has very good power. He's someone that I think profiles as, I don't know if he's going to be a corner outfielder. If Manzardo's first base, he seems like a DH, but he seems like a 25 homer 260 guy.
Can I test it?
Yeah.
Austin Hedges is on this baseball team.
Wow. Yeah.
You want to know what his OPS plus is? I'm testing it. This is the ultimate test. What's his OPS plus?
44.
I mean, it's way lower. 24.
Stop.
His career OPS plus is 51. Austin Hedges is a negative WAR player for his career with an OPS plus that is like basically we'll take anybody to hit except you. I can't believe he's still on this team. You know, shout out Austin Hedges though. Remember when the Mets were going to trade Noah Syndergaard for him and Manuel Margot every single year? What a bunch of losers that entire trade became.
I mean, Noah Syndergaard was just released by the White Sox. Bring him home.
That's tough.
We need Team City to have their ace for the fucking alumni game. But the funny thing about it, as we rag on the Guardians, it's not really rag. It's just like I still would actually put them in the camp of like a good organization.
100%. Yeah.
Right? Like even
besides
though we're talking
suspending.
We're talking about a lot of these guys that have like 670 OPSs, 710 OPSs, but still like you put them together. It's like Bo Naylor, I thought was going to be a better player. And he still might be because you know how late catchers bloom. Bo Naylor, famously 2 years older than Francisco Alvarez, still struggling in the early part of his career. Like they brought back Carlos Santana this year, tried to like kind of shoot the gap, win in the margins, swapping out him for Josh Naylor. Didn't work. Can't believe that. Brian Rocchio, Gabriel Arias, and Angel Martinez, the Guardians just keep faking these shortstop prospects and try to put them anywhere else in the field and just keep running them out there for 680 OPSs. Like it's Nolan Jones, famously a Guardians prospect that they sent to the Rockies, who had one blow up season, acquire him back, stinks again. It's just it's just, I don't know. I feel bad for this Guardians team because this Guardians team probably over the last decade would have a ring if they actually had owners that cared about winning baseball games rather than like profit margins.
Spend like 10% more money, they would have had at least one World Series ring.
And it's funny, too, to think about this team with, like, Francisco Lindor. And we think about trades. We just passed the trade deadline and prospects and all this stuff. And you look back at a trade like that where you gave up literally, and not literally, because Andres Gimenez is a baseball player who's a fine baseball player.
So on a roster.
Andres Gimenez could definitely start, and he will start. And Andres Gimenez could be the second baseman of the World Series champion easily.
Yeah.
But you look back and you're just like, what a fucking slam dunk, absolute double windmill tomahawk that trade was.
Bang.
You make that every single time, and you watch this team now, and you're like, they could really use a shortstop.
They could really use a shortstop.
This team could really use a franchise cornerstone shortstop. And you know what? Is where they haven't had it in 5 years.
Last thing I'll mention about the Guardians, I don't know if you got anything else to say, but Cade Smith, we saw him last year. I remember watching him when the Mets faced them, and I was like, who is this guy? He's an absolute freak on the mound. He's the closer now. He's lights out. Hunter Gaddis as well is really good, and Jacob Junis is going to throw, 75% sliders. So, like, this bullpen is good. So you got to get a lead. You can hit the starting pitching for sure.
And one of our favorite bullpen demons is Leon Carlos Hernandez in this bullpen now.
Oh, is he really?
And I'm sure within 12 months, they're going to turn Carlos Hernandez back into a high leverage guy who throws 100 miles an hour. That's what he is.
He was from the Royals, right? That's Carlos Hernandez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently with the Phillies. Yeah. But this Mets team just has to play better.
Literally.
And we've had all these cloaks that we've gone behind when this team played poorly. It's they have to play better at home. Let's shuffle the batting order. It's this, it's that. It's you just got to do it. It's August.
Yeah. There's a weird thing.
You got to play.
There's a weird thing, though, that Lindor 2, Pete 4 completely got ice cold since they went into those spots. I am going to say that again.
But where do you put them? Where can you put them?
Oh, I know. I'm saying Lindor has this weird thing where he has to hit leadoff and Pete has to hit third. I don't know. It's confusing. I don't know what to do there.
I don't know. But Pete's been 4 and he's been good. It's just the batting order. I understand the mentality of it, but there has to be something that happens here.
Well, yeah, they just got to hit. They should not actually care about where they hit in the order. They should just be able to hit anywhere they go.
And we're not saying they do. I actually don't think they do at all.
No.
It's time to play baseball.
It's time to play a little ball. It's August 4th. Playing the Guardians tonight. Let's get a win. Let's smack this team around. Let's just play a good, clean game. We're going to wrap it up, though, with, of course, our boy Frankie Peppers sending us out here on the episode. What does he got for us?
Yeah, we need a little Frankie after this because this was you, me being pouty and pissy the whole time.
Detox.
So we need a little Frankie here. Here's Frankie Peppers. Oh, I just liked the message. Didn't click play.
Yeah, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? I don't understand what's going on with the rotation right now. It seems like it's all sort of falling apart, and I don't like that. I don't think anyone is enjoying it, but we got to figure this out, and soon. Do we bring up a kid? We might have to bring up a kid. I don't know. I'm sure you already talk about it, but that's, I'm not certain. The bats looked real nice on Saturday. Pete with his 250th home run. There's a chance that when we're all there on Wednesday, we might see something special. I doubt it, but hey, you never know. Boys, if you catch that home run ball, I will give you free sauce for life. In exchange for that baseball.
Holy shit.
Shipping included. So I will mail you pasta and sauce if you catch that ball and you give it to Frankie. Don't tell anybody, though. That's for you and you only. So, boys, take care. I'll talk to you soon. I will see you on Wednesday. Let's go, Mets.
It's a good thing that this is a private podcast. No one will know that Frankie's giving us that offer.
Yeah, thankfully, Frankie just sent it to the private conversation that you and I have together. So I guess if anyone ever heard that, if specifically on Wednesday, there's a historic home run hit by Pete Alonso, legally speaking, I'm not a lawyer, you might be entitled to something that Frankie just offered, which was free sauce for life.
And we've had his bolognese.
It's incredible.
So it's a great bolognese. It's good sauce. Trust the sauce.
Trust the sauce always. But if anyone catches that ball, maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. I'm done. I'm tired. That's the Mets'd Up Podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on social media at Mets'd Up. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draftneck Mark with a C. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll catch you all after the Guardian series or maybe during it. I don't know. We got to put some videos out. So we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace out, guys. Let's go, Mets.